Good morning, welcome to worship. Today we're talking again about Jesus and his disciples as they were traveling around to the different towns. And as they were nearing one town, the disciples and Jesus saw a group of men kind of huddled together. And they were wondering what the group of men were doing. And when they got a little bit closer, they saw that the group of men were sick. They had a disease called leprosy. And leprosy is a pretty bad disease. You get sores all over your body. You are unable to use some of your hands, your limbs. You lose feeling in your hands and your feet, and so like if you touch something hot, it'll burn you and you won't know. And leprosy was just a horrible disease that they had no cure for back then. We have a cure now. We recently have a cure. In fact, not too long ago, if you had leprosy in Hawaii, you were sent to Molokai, and you had to live in this it was kind of a blocked off section, kind of a beach that was surrounded by cliffs, and only the people who had leprosy lived there, and they had to stay there until they died because you didn't live very long if you had leprosy. Well, Jesus and his disciples saw these men. They knew that they were contagious. And so the disciples were worried. They didn't want to get leprosy. So they kind of stepped back. And not only was the disease bad for you because it was painful and scary and all of that, but if you had leprosy, you were not allowed to live with the other people. You were not allowed to go home to your families. You were not allowed to be go into any stores. You were not allowed to be around any other people. And so these 10 men kind of had each other, and they were all lepers. So they were kind of together, trying to help each other through this. And when Jesus saw them, he started walking towards them instead of away from them. And the disciples were like, "No, we're backing up." They started backing up away. And Jesus started to walk towards them. And he said to the lepers, he gave a greeting to them, hello. And they said, "Oh!" And they knew who he was. They're like, "Jesus, Master, please heal us." And Jesus was not scared at all. He didn't even think twice about maybe getting leprosy. And he went up close to them and he said to them, "Go to the priest, and when the priest announces that you are clean, you can go home." That's all he said. He didn't say you are healed or any of that. He just told them that. And the reason why they had to go to the priest is back then in that culture, the doctor didn't tell you you were well. No one else told you you were well except for the priest. So if you had something wrong with you, such as leprosy, and you wanted to go back to your family, you had to go to the priest, and the priest would say, "Yes, you are clean. You are okay. You can go back to your family." And so when the 10 guys heard this, they were so excited. They started walking away towards town, towards where the priest was. And as they were walking, they looked down at their skin. And instead of this skin with sores and scars and all these yucky things on it, they noticed that their skin was clean and clear, and it was beautiful new skin. And that made them even more excited. So they started running. They were going to get to the priest as fast as they could because of course they wanted to go back and see their families and be normal and live normal lives again. But one of the 10 men stopped. In his full sprint, he just stopped and he turned around and he ran back to Jesus. And when he got to Jesus, he kind of fell at his feet and he started saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful that you did that for me. I'm so grateful that you healed me. I'm so excited to go back to my family. Thank you. I could never thank you enough." And Jesus said, "I healed 10 men. Where are the other 9 to come back and thank me?" And the man said, "I don't know, but I am very, very grateful. So thank you." And Jesus said, "Your faith, your gratefulness has made you well. You go and enjoy your life. Go and get declared healed and clean and well, and be with your families. And I just recently watched the movie, I think it's called Molokai, and it's about the people who lived on Molokai who had leprosy. And there was one man, Father Damien, he was a Catholic man, a priest, and he volunteered to go live with the lepers. And the people who had come before him were not always kind to the lepers, did not treat them with very much love and kindness. But Father Damien did. He went in. He kind of had the same thing that Jesus had. He wasn't scared of them. He wanted them to know about God and to feel loved and to get help. And so when he was there, he did everything in his power to get them the supplies they needed, to get them medicine, to help them build homes so they could live in nice places. He made the church look nice again so they'd have a place to worship. And he planted trees, not only for food but to block the wind because it was so windy where they lived. And he thought of everything for those people. And eventually he did get leprosy himself and he did die. But when he was dying, he said, this is okay. This is my thing in life, was to come and help these people, and I feel like I did what I was supposed to do. And so I'm not upset that I got it. I'm not upset about that. And I think, I don't know if I could do that, right? That would be so hard, to be so unselfish and so loving to groups of people that no one else cares about really or loves. And I just think that's such a beautiful story of unselfish love that both Jesus and Father Damien had towards the people who no one else wanted, that sent away. So sometimes, some people don't have to have leprosy or be sick or whatever to feel like they're not wanted or loved. So I want you to think about, if you see anyone who seems, I know it's going to be probably someone in your house today, but if someone seems like they're grumpy or they don't feel loved, or they, especially maybe like a younger sibling who's crying a lot, maybe you could find a way to stop what you're doing and go and help them and see if maybe you can be kind to them today and make them feel loved and wanted. And it's just all part of being kind, right? All right, so have a wonderful day.